Hi guys, I am MD Shahajada Imran. Today I will make a video about array. So the language is VB scripting and the tool is HP, QTP or Micro Focus UFT. UFT means Unified Functional Testing. So regarding this, I will make a video and the main topic is array. So what is an array? That is what I will demonstrate first. So what is an array? So array is a data structure. Here in this Word document that we can see, an array is a data structure. So this is how the data structure looks. Each array has indexes. So this is one index, this is another index, this is another index, up to this is another index. So array could have unlimited number of indexes. The first index number is 0, second index number is 1, third index number is 2 until n. So what could be the, so that is the definition. What is an array? Array is a data structure. Each array has indexes. Index always starts with the number 0 and could be until n. And from here to here is the length of an array. And what is the array name? Array name could be anything. It could be my array, your array, my a, or anything. It could be any name. So name could be anything. And this index, what this index can hold, this index can hold any type of data. It could be integer data. Integer data means the number without decimal and without double quote, or floating number with decimal without double quote, or a string, anything within double quote, or an object. So any type of data that can be stored in each element. Array will have multiple elements and each element can hold one data, and the data could be any type of data, and there are some built-in functions that are available with the language VB scripting, and those are ubound. Ubound is a built-in function. That means the upper boundary that is always in the last number n. So if this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till n, and the n is the u-bound value, and l-bound is the lower bound that is always 0, because index always starts with the number 0. And there are other array functions, split, filter, join. These are also array functions. So this is the very high level overview about an array. What is an array? So I have explained what is an array. So I will be marking as green that I have explained and make also the bold. The second thing is I will show how many ways we can create an array. Show hands-on. So I will show this one hands-on. The first one I just explained. I just demonstrated what is an array. Now I will show hands-on how we can create an array and how many ways, different ways we can create an array. So this is UFT 12.53. So there are three ways. We can create an array. There are 3 ways we can create an array. So first one, using dim keyword without specify index number, index without that is dynamic array. That is a dynamic array. So first we can create using a dim keyword and without specifying the index number. That is the first I will show. So I will say dim, using the dim keyword, my array. Now I have to give first parenthesis twice, but I will not be mentioning any index number. If I say 1, so I have mentioned an index number. If I say 2, I have mentioned an index number. But if I do not mention anything, that is, I did not specify the index number. So that is what I have written here, without specifying the index number. Now since I have declared, and this array is empty, this array has nothing. Now I have to redeem it. Redeem my array 2. So I have redeclared it, and I mentioned the index size. Index size is 2. What it will create, since index number is 2, that means it will create 0, 1, 2. So it will create an array that will look like this. We'll have three indexes. The first index number is 0, second index number is 1, and third index number is 2. So that is what this line will do. This line will create an array which will look like this, and that will have 3 indexes: index number 0, index number 1, and index number 2. Now I will initialize value into that array. How I can do that? Just paste it 3 times. The index is 0, index is 1, and index is 2, equal to, I just put my first name MD, and equal to, I put my middle name, and I put my last name. So I have initialized 3 value into the 3 different elements. So what when the line 6 executes, what will happen? It will put here MD, put here, and here. So this is an array. Array has 3 indexes. First index holds the value MD, second index holds the value Shahajada, and the last index holds the value Imran. So I have so now if I want to print all this, if I want to print all this in the console, I can use a for loop for L bound to for I equal to L bound to U bound. So these are built-in functions. This has a 0 value and this has the value 2. So it will run, the for loop will run 3 times. In first iteration it will run with the value 0, I value 0, and then second time it will run with the I value 1, and the third time it will run with the I value 2. So now I will print it. Print this, my array. Here I will say I. So this is just, I'm using a for loop to print all the element values. It has 3 elements. There are 3 elements. Each element has a string value. 1, 2, 3 element has 3 string values. So this one I will be printing in the output. So if I run it, the test cannot continue due to a unrecoverable. Okay. Let me see what happened. I use a different no, that's fine. L bound for I equal to 0 to 2, step 1, print this. Maybe I try another for loop for each in my array. Okay, so it printed. This the 3 values that it printed. So I used a different for loop. It is called for each loop. So for each value in this element, in this array, it will print one by one. So this array has 3 values, so it printed 3 values here. Now I will comment it out this. Control M from the keyboard. So this for each loop got commented out. Now I will use since this array has 3 elements, I will add one more element, 4 element. There will be 4 elements. So if I say redim my array 3, so in this line number 12, what it will do, once this line number 12 executes, it will delete everything, whatever is here, delete everything, and add one more here. So instead of 3, there will be 4. So it will be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. So here I bring 1, 2, 3, 4. So this it will remove everything from these elements and add one more element. After everything, it will look like this. There will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, total 5 elements. Now initially, total 4 elements, 0, 1, 2, 3. So there will be total 4 elements, 0, 1, 2, 3. I have done something wrong. So it will look like this, 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will look like this. Once the line number 9 executes, whatever value this array is holding will be wiped out, and it will create something like this. This array will have 4 elements, and all these elements are empty. On line number 13, I will add one more value, Control C, Control V, equal to, I will say UFT tester, UFT. So I have added one more value. Now if I use the same for loop, copy, and paste here, comment it out, Control Shift M from the keyboard, so it got uncommented. Now if I run it, it should print only this value, because in line number 12 what it did, it deleted MD, Shahajada, Imran, those 3 string values from these 3 elements on line number 12. On line number 13, it only added UFT tester on element number 4. Element number 4. 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is the 4th element, index number 3, element number 4, UFT tester. So now if I run it, it should print empty space, empty space, empty space, and this name. Let's see what happens. I run it again. So in the console I can see this empty space, another empty space, another empty space, and this value, UFT tester. So since line number 12 deleted those 3 values, it deleted MD and then Shahajada, these 3 string values, on line number 12 it deleted those 3 string values and added an empty index of 4. I did an empty index, which is this index, and on line number 13 it only added this value. Therefore this is how it printed. Now if I write here preserve, preserve, if I write preserve, then what will happen? It will not delete these 3 values. It will only add one empty element, the 4th element with the index number 3. The first element has index number 0, second element has index number 1, third element has index number 2, and the 4th element will have the index number 3. So it will, this is something will look like after executing line number 12, because I have added this built-in function. It will preserve the value, it will not delete the previously added values. So now if I Now if I run it again, then it will print all these 4 values. Run it. So it printed all these 4 values, and the array looks like this. So this is an array. The array name is my array, that has 4 elements with the index number 0 to 3. Index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 0 to 0, from 0 to 3, and each element holding 1 value, the 4 elements holding 4 values. So this is one way that I can create an array. So I have created an array without specifying the index number, and this is dynamic array. So I have showed once. This is dynamic array. Why it is dynamic array? Because I can use a redim and increase or decrease the element size, as well as I can also use the preserve built-in function. So I can use the redim built-in function, I can use the preserve built-in function and modify the index number. That's why it is dynamic. So this is one way that we can create an array. I have showed hands-on how we can create an array. This is the name of the array. It has at the end it has 4 elements. Each element holds 1 string value, and those are printed here. So the 4 string values, and those are printed here. So this is one way. Now I will show another way too. The way to using dim keyword with specify index number. This is a fixed size array. Fixed size. This is not dynamic array. This is fixed size array. This is the second approach that we can create an array. So using dim keyword and with specify the index number. So I will delete everything. I just keep this one. I just keep that for loop so that I can reuse it. Now I will declare dim my array. Now I am specifying 2. So I have declared an array where I specified the index number. Once the line number 2 executes, it will create something in the background. It will create something like this in the background, 0, 1, 2. So it will create an array. This is an array. This array has this array's name is my array. It has the index number is 2. That means it has 3 indexes. The first index number 0, second index number 1, and the third index number 2. Now I can assign values. I can say, now if I run it, it will print nothing. If I run it, let me see what happens. I run it. In the console, it's nothing. Now I will assign value. There are 3 indexes, so I will assign 3 values into these 3 different indexes. This refers the first index, this refers the second index, and this refers the third index. Now I will assign those value my names. So I have assigned 3 values into the 3 different elements. So now once the line number 6 ends the execution, what will happen in the background, this array will have 3 values. So this array will look like this. It has 3 indexes. Each index has 1 string value. First index will have this string value, this index will have this string value, and this index will have this string value. Now if I run it, it will print those 3. If I run it printed this 3. Now what if I want to add one more, and I want to say UFT tester? Can I do that? No, I cannot do that, because that is fixed. This is fixed size array. It is not dynamic array, therefore the index number cannot be changed. Once I have specified that the index number is true, that means this array has 3 elements. We cannot add or remove elements from this array. If I even try, it will say the same what I said in the message box. Let's see, redim my array, and I will say 4. Generally, when the line 8 executes, it's supposed to delete this 3 and delete this 3 and add one more index here, but that will not happen because it is fixed size array. If I run it, it says the test cannot continue due to an unrecoverable error. This array is fixed or temporarily locked. So this is the fixed size array, therefore we cannot add or remove element from this array. So this is the second approach. So I have showed 2 ways, and now the third way. Using array built-in function. Using array built-in function. This is also dynamic array. Dynamic array. So this is the third approach. So I will delete everything, and I will use my array equal to array. This is a built-in function, so I will be adding 3 string values. So once the line 2 executes, it will create something like this, exactly like this. It will have an array. That array will have 3 elements. The index number will start 0, 1, and 2, and the first element will hold MD, second element will hold Shahajada, and the third element will hold Imran. Once the line 2 executes, and using this I can print those values. Let me do that. I run it, so it will print those 3 string values in the output. It did. Since this is dynamic, this is a dynamic array, so we can add or we can add. So I will use redim my array. I will say 3 because 0, this is 0 index number, this is 1, this is 2, so this is 3. It will once the line 3 executes, what the script will do is script will delete this, and add one more here, so there will be 4. Add one more here, so there will be 4. 1 2 3 4. Let me delete that. I try to do in a different way. Anyway, never mind. There will be one more, so there will be 4. And when it prints, since the 4th element has no value, so I will be adding one value. This is the 4th element. So it will add this value on the 4th element. Index will 0 1 2 3. It will look like this, UFT. Since I did not use the preserve keyword here, therefore it will look like this. Those 3 values will be removed and only this value will be here. So when I print all the values, it will not print this 3 because those 3 are removed on line number 4. Therefore when the line number 5 executes, only this value exists in that array. So I run it. Before I run, I clear the output console. So I run it again. So it's only showing the 3rd one because the array is looking like this. Now if I use preserve here, if I write preserve here, so it will not delete this 3 values from this array at the line number 4. Yeah. Without deleting, it will add an empty element at the end. So it will look like this. So it will look like this. It will keep these 3 values, only it will add one more extra element at the end with the index number 3, which is the 4th element. And on line number 5, it will add that value, UFT tester. Once the line number 5 executes, it will be look like this, UFT tester. So now, since this array looks like this, 4 element has 4 values. Now if I run it, it will print all those 4 values. Since I have used this preserve keyword, therefore when I am adding one extra element using redim keyword, it is not deleting the previously added string values in 3 different elements. So I'll be running it. So it displayed all 4 values. So this is the 3rd way. So I have showed hands-on how we can create array. So the first one we use, so it will be dynamic array. Therefore we can use redim and preserve keyword and add or modify the index. And the 3rd one also dynamic array, and the 2nd one is the fixed size array. So I have showed this one hands-on how we can create, how many different ways we can create an array. So I have showed 3 different ways. So I can mark this as green. And how to find the length of an array. Length, oh, let me here. What is the length of an array? Length is from here to here. Or how many, length means how many indexes this array is holding. So how we can get that? There are built-in function. I commented out this. Now I want to see how many. If I say message box, you bound my array, ubound is a built-in function. It will return the upper boundary. Upper boundary is 2. In this particular scenario, it's 3. Upper boundary is 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. But the element count is 4. How many elements this array is holding? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this array has 4 elements. But the upper boundary is 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Upper boundary is 3. Ubound function returns upper boundary. So if I run it, it will say 3. But the element counts are 4. There are total 4 elements. Let me see. It's returning 3. That means it's returning the upper bound. So how we can get the length of an array? Using ubound function plus 1. So this is an interview question that usually interviewers ask. So this is how we can get the length of an array. Ubound function plus 1. That I showed hands-on also. I showed hands-on. How many dimensions an array can have? Array can have, so all these examples that I have showed, that is one-dimensional array. Array can have up to 60 dimensions. Array can have up to 60 dimensions. Up to 60 dimensions. I didn't show hands-on, but I have explained verbally that an array can have 60 dimensions. Okay, so I will also, or maybe I can show. It's okay. I will show. So I delete everything. So I will declare a fixed. This is, I will use this second approach, and I will create a two-dimensional array. So dim my array. So I am specifying the size 1, 1. So I have mentioned 2 dimensions. This is 1 dimension, this is another dimension. What it will do? This will create an array which will look like a Excel spreadsheet or a database table. It will look like something similar. It will look like this. So this will have 4 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 rectangles, so 4 elements. Once the line 3 executes, this is 2-dimensional array, this is 1 dimension, this is another dimension. An array can have up to 60 dimensions. So once this line 3 executes, it will create an array which in the background which will look like this. Now I can insert 4 values into these 4 different elements. So I will insert 2, 3, 4. I will insert 4 values into these 4 different elements. And so this is 0, this is 1. This is see how I can put 0 here. Let me find out something. Anyway, this is a Word document. I can simply put this is 0, this is 1. It got hanged. Microsoft Word got hanged too sometime. I use Paint. This is two-dimensional array. This is 0. How we can put 0 here? This is 0. And this is 1. This is 1. And this is also 0, and this is 1. So this is the two-dimensional array. That is how it will look like. Once line number 3 executes, it will create an array which will look like this in the background. So this is first element. How we can refer this element? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And how we can refer this element? First we have to mention row, second we have to mention column. So 0, 1, 0, 1. How we can mention this one? 1, 0, 1, 0. And how we can mention this element? 1, 1, 1, 1. Now I will be assigning 4 values. MD, Shahajada, Imran, and UFT tester. So once line number 8 executes, and it will create something. It will add here, it will add MD. it will add Shahajada here, it will add Imran here, and it will add UFT tester here. So this array has 4 elements. Each element can hold 1 values. So that is, this is second dimensional, 2-dimensional array that I have showed. So, and the main question is how many dimensions an array can have. It can have up to 60 dimensions. And when redim and preserve is used, only when I have showed 3 different ways we can create array. When we are creating a dynamic array, we can use redim and preserve keyword to add or remove element from the array. If I are using this second approach, which is fixed size array, we cannot use a redim or preserve keyword when the array is fixed size array. So I have showed this video about array in considering VB scripting and the tool microfocus UFT, but the base concept is same to any language, whether it is Java programming, Python, C#, VB script. It doesn't matter what is the language is. The base concept is same. Array is a data structure. It has indexes, and each index can hold 1 value, and the value could be anything. It could be integer, string, object, boolean, anything. And I have showed hands-on how we can create. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.